Are you an adventurer looking to take your hunt to the next level? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to East Meets West Hunt with your host, Bo Martonic.
All right, we're good to go. Ricky Maxson, what's going on, brother?
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Sitting here in my living room.
Rut stash shirt on.
Rut stash shirt on. Rut stash
on.
With our other good buddy Tony Doyle sitting here sipping on a nice cool bush latte. We're just having a good night after a night at the shop. How about it?
But didn't they rename these actually like lattes, or was that a joke?
I don't know.
Because it was all over on the internet, Facebook, and that still says Busch Light.
Yeah, we have the new limited edition orange cans that they do for hunting season, and they definitely don't say latte on them. And I'm kind of okay with that because I was upset that they were taking our idea, you know?
Yeah, I don't know necessarily if we were the first ones to do that, but...
Yeah, we were.
All right.
There was nobody in North America.
I'll send them a letter tomorrow.
Okay.
We need minimum like $15 million.
How soon can we get a trademark on that, you think?
I don't know.
Or word mark or whatever you need to have. We'll get it done.
You could probably Google it.
I'm sure it's taken at this point.
Probably.
Anyways, so this is take 2. First podcast didn't work out as planned a couple months ago. Rick, I don't know what really happened there. Actually, I do.
Yeah, lattes happen.
Yeah.
It started out really good, and then it went to just places it probably shouldn't have, considering, I mean, you want to probably stay somewhat professional with this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's...
Unless the people listening know you, then no matter how professional you stay, they still know that you're not professional.
Hey, let's not turn this back on me, Rick. It's... Honestly, I think it was your fault why the podcast didn't work out. You got into captain.
I'll take credit for it.
Okay. And you were having conversations with people that weren't on the podcast, external, guests.
I'm not the one who got in a wrestling match next to a fire pit that night.
All right, Rick, we're not going to go into that.
I mean, if we want to go there, I'm pretty sure you body slammed royally onto one of my tables next to the fire pit, broke the table, knocked your podcast stuff over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take 3.
Take 3. All right, restart. No, we're good.
But we're back. We're new. I think we've come a long way since then. That was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And times have changed. We've definitely matured. And so as we get started here, Rick, before we go down another rabbit hole, which we're pretty good at doing, and just don't get a drink on my mic. You hear me? Brother. That's good bourbon. I got that. That was from the Niagara trip. That's Wayne Gretzky's bourbon from the number 99 distillery.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Old Wayne, or as Joe T says, he calls him the Wayne. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
You don't watch hockey?
No, not really. You're big into it. If you ever see Rick, before Rick introduced himself, I got to give a little bit of a background. He, when he watches the Penguins or the Steelers play, you don't talk to him. You don't look at him. You don't do anything around
unless they're
him.
winning.
Yeah, then we're
good.
Half decently happy. But, Pittsburgh fans get a relatively bad name, and honestly, they should have a picture of Rick on there. He gave me a look just right now like Pittsburgh doesn't give a bad
Pittsburgh
name.
Fans have a great name.
Mm-hmm.
We're loyal, dedicated. I don't know about the Steelers this year. There's a lot of nonsense going on there, but it still feels good. Steelers season, Pens are about to play, and that means one thing. It's bow season, man.
Yeah, it is bow season.
B-O-W, not B-A-A. B-E-A-u.
Yeah, it depends how you look at it.
It's always bow season, though.
It's like the Rut Stash, man.
Right.
It's a 365, 24/7 thing, and it's hard to be a part of unless you're a part of it.
Exactly. That should be your motto. This is hard to be a part of unless you're part of it.
Yeah,
right.
You wouldn't know unless you know. Okay?
Right. Something you might want to become familiar with.
So, all right, Rick. So let's give a little bit of a background on who you are and why you're sitting here with me right now.
Yeah, man. Well, how did I get started in the industry? just kind of crazy, weird story. I worked in a different field prior to this, and had walked into Maxson Bows Archery in Gibsonia just to get some bow work done. And the owner was there that day, and I was laid off from my last job on unemployment, and me and my buddy Sean were just planning on hunting all fall, and we were young. I mean, I was probably, 22 or something like that. And he was like, "Oh, we need some extra help around the store." I didn't know anything. I'd never worked on a bow, fletched an arrow, nothing. And they pretty much, we'll train you. So started there part-time, maybe 2 nights a week, I think, just kind of fletching arrows. The shop was, probably a fifth of the size it is now, maybe smaller than that. We didn't even have a range or anything. And started fletching arrows, and then led to working on bows. And the store has expanded from, us, again, being a small kind of mom and pop store, which, I would still consider us, we're still a small business. We're not this, like a chain or a box store or anything big like that. But we now have the 2 indoor ranges, spot paper range and the 3D range. And you've been a part of a lot of that growth over the past couple of years with putting a 3D range and stuff in. But been working there, and been the head store manager for what, Tone?
6 years now?
No, 5 years, 4 years, 5 years. 5 years, maybe.
You've been telling me 4 or 5 years for 2 years, since I've been here for 2.5 years, and you've been telling me the same story.
It's just time flies. I turned 30 this year. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. So
like I said, I just said a minute ago, I started at the store when I was like 22 or something. So, yeah. So, just kind of grew up Southwest Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh region. Did some traveling out west, and moved a couple places for work, and went to Slippery Rock University for college. Started the University Hunting and Fishing Club up there when I was there, and just allowed me to meet a lot of people, and kind of took that with the store too. So it's been a great networking thing, and got to meet a lot of cool guys and a lot of new friends and stuff like that. So it's been a fun ride. Yeah.
I've been with the store now for 2.5 years when I came in, and it's the funny story with it is I was working in another career field and still am, but I had met the owners of Maxson Bows they were a client, or actually I was a client of theirs, and hired them through some different things, and I got laid off from my job and made a random move down in the Pittsburgh area, and they're like, "Hey, we'd like you to work at the shop. I think you'd fit in really well," which, I mean, they obviously didn't know my character or anything to be able to say that.
We saw potential, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on
Opinions have changed.
Sure. But here we are. So I came down, like, and Chuck, one of the owners, like, "You got to meet, Rick. He's a store manager, great guy. You guys will connect."
Good looking guy.
Yeah, he said that. Yep, good looking guy. He's like, he's full of. I mean, no, he's
super fit,
great guy, not full of himself, like,
big buck killer.
Yeah,
there's a lot of traits. We could go on and on all night,
Yeah, honestly, I mean, like, I don't mean to cut you off, Rick, but
full body.
For you to go through the entire, attribute list of yourself, it would take a while.
It sure would.
But anyways, we had lunch together, and
I remember that. And you ordered a salad, and I had immediately questioned the beginning of our relationship as friends when you ordered a salad. But I think you then followed that up with a bush latte order. So
no, they didn't have any there. We had a Miller Lite.
That's right, there was Miller Lite.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Pittsburgh area isn't like a huge fan of bush lattes or anything. So yeah, that was a warning sign that I didn't take at that point. But we hung out, and I think you took me was it the first time you took me shed hunting on the farm?
Yep.
Yeah, so you took me shed hunting, and as much as I don't like to admit to it, because how much shit we give each other, we connected, and we became good friends out of it. So I ended up taking the job down here and working at Maxson Bows part-time, and that was kind of the beginning of it. And just kind of a little bit of a side tangent here. It's always funny. We joke around about the whole industry pro staff thing, and how, it's a cool thing to be on a field staff or pro staff or anything. But for someone that's really serious about getting into the outdoor industry, working for an archery pro shop is like the ideal, way, I guess, in or being a part of it. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing to get 10% off, a scent crusher bag or anything along those lines, but it's another thing to be a part of it and learn it and be able to be a part of, customers, real people that are, hunting and doing everything else and getting to talk about it on a daily basis, being surrounded by great people like yourself and Tony and Alec and all the other guys down at the shop. Like that's a big thing that I wish, more people would, I guess, gravitate to.
Yeah, I think too, I mean, the industry's definitely changed over the years. Tony and I, we actually have a TV at the store that plays DVDs. What's in there now? It's an old Matthews DVD. Yeah, it's 2006 or something. And it shows a lot of hunts back when, we were in college, where Lee and Tiff were just getting started, and a lot of the big names in the industry were like outdoor TV was just really starting to explode. And we always say, those were the good old days. But yeah, I mean, I think there's the industry's definitely flooded with, like you said, the pro staff, field staff stuff. And I think what people want is just like genuine, somebody to talk to that actually understands product base and has knowledge on how the stuff works, the pros and the cons to everything. Because if you just say, hey, I shoot this bow, it's the best bow in the world, everything about it's perfect, every other bow in the world sucks, that's not really genuine. And that's definitely not true, considering certain products, certain bows, certain sights, whatever, certain arrows, they work really well for some people, and for the next guy it may not be the best product for them, or the best solution for an issue they're having or whatever. So yeah, being in the shop and having a wide array of knowledge on different products with different brands. And for us, I think at the store, and we always say, I actually had a guy call today and asked about, he was like in the market for crossbows, and he goes, is there a particular brand that you guys push? I said, no, man, we carry 5-6 brands of crossbows. We like them all, otherwise they wouldn't be there. It's not a box store, right? So we choose what's there, we don't have a buyer who's not on the floor, that's choosing what's there. We have our hand in that, and we do that at ATA and things like that. We hand pick products that we feel are going to be best for our customers. And then the guys that work there, they have that one-on-one knowledge, which, is a huge difference than, not going back to box stores constantly, but, a kid at a box store who doesn't receive the training or the knowledge, or doesn't have the personal relationships with the sales reps or the companies to really understand every little feature of every product. So I think that separates, if you work in the store first versus, hey, I just filled out an application online to be a pro staffer, a field staffer, and then you're working in the store and you get to touch every product, whether you carry it or not. Guys are bringing in sights and stuff that we don't carry, and it just gives you a more true opinion, something that's probably better for a customer,
more valued.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have more value, for that customer, and that's what it's all about for us. Our big thing, and I know it sounds cliche, but it's all for us. It's the customer experience, and when people come to us, they're looking for that pro shop knowledge and pro shop experience to give them, especially with lines like some of our bigger lines like Sitka Gear, for example. That's a big one, man. You can go online and read what you want, and try to figure some of this stuff out, but without having somebody sitting there saying, hey, we go hands-on with this stuff. We go through training every year. And I think a lot of customers don't know a lot of that too, like the actual training our guys are required to go through. Sometimes you just think, oh, well, you carry it in the store, so you have to say it's good, or you think it's good, maybe you don't use it, but all our guys use our products that we carry. They go through training, not just on Sitka Gear, but with other brands as well, so that they know all the ins and outs and can really, if a customer wants to dig into questions or what is what, we should be able to answer those questions, or at least lead them in the direction that they can get those questions answered.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing that I didn't realize before starting there was, okay, like when I first started, you would be like, hey, Bo, you got to meet down the shop, where to stay after or during store hours, whatever it may be. You're like, all right, the sales rep's coming in from Spot Hog, say Dustin Yutz, for example, great sales rep. And he would come in and be like, all right, giving us a training on all of the sites. And we're going through seeing how they work, why they work this way, everything. And that's not just, say, with Spot Hog sites. That's with everything. We have our reps come in and teach us how to use them, how to work on them, what the pros, what the cons are. And then by us using them, we can kind of, formulate an opinion on those and at least be able to educate the customers during the buying experience. There's not any of us in there that push, one single product or what it goes through. And like with Sitka gear, for example, the big thing that you were kind of touching on there was all of us go through a training that we have to do every year that goes through all the product lines, why they are, because if you go on Sitka's website, it can be overwhelming if you don't know what to look for.
They have a lot of SKUs, and from, their 2 Western lines.
Yeah.
They've got their waterfowl stuff, which we don't touch on too much, and then a very, very advanced whitetail system. Yeah, you can read descriptions, but that can get very difficult to really try to figure out and dig to what you need. And, everybody's different. Kind of going back to like that bow, you get a guy that says, hey, Matthews is the best bow in the world. It's the only bow to shoot. Well, that may be true for that guy, but there may be another brand, not knocking Matthews because they're phenomenal. We sell a lot of them, but there may be another bow out there that is probably a better fit for that guy based upon his draw length, or, you get things like shoulder injuries. There might be a bow out there that's a little smoother for him, or something along the lines of that. Get the same thing with the Sitka gear. You have a guy who everybody hunts differently. Everybody's body is different. We react different to temperatures and the environment. So, yeah, what may be a perfect jacket for me may not be a perfect jacket for you in the exact same situation. So It allows us to, once we get to learn that customer and kind of how they hunt and that kind of stuff, it allows us to put them in the right direction, which takes away the whole trial and error for the customer. Mm-hmm. The guys that are buying stuff and they find out, oh, that this site wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I didn't realize it was like this. Or for Sitka gear, this jacket, I was still cold, or whatever. It didn't work. Yeah, probably because you didn't apply it correctly, or it wasn't the right application for what it was designed for. Which in turn, they can save money by just saying, hey, give me advice, lead me in the right direction. We're not going to steer them wrong. It's bad for business, right?
I mean, same thing like when we go through, like, say, for example, with the Sitka gear system, we ask the customer, do you run cold or warm? Are you more active? Are you stationary? What's your kind of hunt look like? What's your ideal thing looking like? And we're going to help you, educate you and build you a system that correlates with what your style hunting is. And everybody's different. We build systems that are completely different for so many people. And it's not even that way with just Sitka gear. I mean, even when it comes down to bows, that's the number one question that comes in. What's the best bow in here? What do
you shoot?
Yeah, what do you shoot?
What do you shoot? It's like, what I shoot may not be the right thing for you to shoot, and this is why. And so let's walk through the products and let's test shoot bows, which is why, all our guys know if a customer comes in, hey, I'm looking to buy a new bow, we figure out the price range they want to stay within. And then we work with that budget to find them a couple bows, at least multiple bows that they can go back in the range, same draw length, same draw weight. So it's an equal comparison, and spend time shooting them. And while they're shooting them, guy shooting with Tony's going to explain the cam system. He's going to explain the riser design. He's going to explain, strings and cables and warranty and customer service and just anything that goes into if that customer chooses that bow, what do they need to know, down to just the little nitty gritty details that most people probably would have no clue, And so when you make the decision, okay, well, based upon how it felt, everything you told me, the technology, the whatever, the company, the whole 9 yards, when you choose that bow, you know, in the back of your mind, you're certain that was the correct bow for you. You'll shoot it better.
Yeah, no,
to be honest with you.
And it's funny because, like you said, everyone's got a different feel. All three of us sitting here have a different bow that we shoot, a different company. You know what I mean? It's because you may like something, you're shooting the PSE Evolve this year. You're liking the let off, how smooth it is, how fast it is. Everything fit you there.
And I got a Bowtech for a 3D rig, not brand loyal at all. It's just, for me, that's the bow, the two bows that felt the best for the applications I'm putting them in.
Yep.
And Tony's not shooting either of those companies. You're not shooting either of those companies, but you guys picked bows based upon feel that you guys felt would lead to you being successful, whether it would be hunting or target shooting or whatever it is.
Yeah, and we apply that to our customers the exact same way.
That's just the way to do it. I think it's more genuine that way to do it, to sell that way, to provide that knowledge and things like that. And I think it just, I don't know if it gives you more, I don't know if the customers find that to be more respectful towards them, but I think that's the ultimate design versus, hey, I'm Pro Staff, I get 10% off, I got a sticker in the back of my truck, you shoot this product because I do.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking Pro Staffers and field staffers. I've been on Pro Staffs, I've been on field staffs. I think everybody in the store has. I got a bunch of buddies who don't work in the store that are on them. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. They can be really good avenues to get into the industry or to learn a little more about the products, as long as you're genuine about it. Mm-hmm. I think that will take you a long way. So if there's people out there listening, they're like, how maybe part of this episode being that it's industry talk. How do you get into the industry? Yeah, I mean, go to your local pro shop, see if they're hiring, or just hang out. We have a lot of guys. We had guys down there tonight, that we were just hanging out with. And these kids have, within a couple of years, tripled, quadrupled their knowledge on just archery in general, just from spending time at the store, hanging out, shooting, listening as our guys are going through stuff, and right off the bat, I think, having that type of knowledge versus I have to sell this product because I'm contracted to or whatever. I just think, I don't know. I think it goes a long way.
Yeah.
If the customer understands, or even cares about it. Some people may not.
Yeah. Some of our customers really don't.
It is what it is, man.
You got to give them the information and
yep.
Be the same to all the customers and hopefully they take that knowledge and everything that they get and take it for a positive experience.
There's a lot of products out there too. Our industry is very inundated with a million options for everything.
Yeah.
Nowadays how many drop away rests are there out there right now? Hundreds. How many trail cameras? It seems like every company in the world right now is making a trail camera, and they have the best trail camera with the fastest trigger speed and blah, 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 the whole 9 yards. When we were younger, it wasn't like that. You didn't have a ton of options, or you had a bunch of options, but it wasn't quite like it is today. And so we can't carry every product in the store, but we get to hand select and choose what we feel is best. And, you go from there. Some customers come in and they want to shoot a, X brand broadhead. We don't carry it. It's not because we don't like it or because we don't think it works. It's just because we can't carry literally every product that the industry offers.
So kind of explain to me the process. So how do we go about choosing the products that we do carry?
Well, Archery Trade Association, ATA, has a show every year called the ATA show, and they do that in January. And it's a really good option. A good opportunity, I guess I should say, for shop employees, owners, managers, whatever, to get out there and see literally every product in our industry. Now, we only have 3 days, so unless we take, a team of 50 people out there, you're not going to see everything. But you could at least walk by, glance, check out, touch, feel, talk to the engineers, owners, people like that are at those booths. In a setting where it's opposite of the Harrisburg show, there's not 200,000 people there. I don't know how many people go out there. There's a lot of people, but it's not like that. It's a lot calmer. We can get one-on-one with the companies, learn about the different engineering designs and kind of, really dig and find out what would be the best for us, what we feel would be the best for us to bring back to our customers. And that's also based upon our customers giving us feedback, which Facebook's a good thing. Customers give us a lot of feedback there, and just word of mouth feedback in the store and, what they thought about products we've carried in the past. That's the big one, man. ATA show is really the meat and potatoes of where we go to get hands-on. It's a lot better than looking at a catalog or looking at things online. And the other big one is sales reps. Our industry utilizes sales rep groups a lot. There's good ones, there's bad ones. I think that's kind of across the board, no matter what industry you're in. But these, a lot of sales reps will come to the store, and bring products and do demos and things like that. And that's actually something that just had a conversation with a sales rep this past week that we're going to start doing for our customers, utilizing sales reps for the customers. So, for example, we're going to have a PSE night at Bucks and Bows, and that'll be coming up here probably this fall. He was thinking October, right, T? Something like that. I think he said October, where customers could come out and he'll have all the 2019 bows. He'll have, any other products that they want to showcase that we carry, or customers could come out and see things that maybe even bows that we don't carry, because you can't carry every bow for every company. So maybe some bows there to target bows and things like that where customers don't often get a hands-on. Prime's going to do it, and I've talked to Dustin in the past about that kind of stuff. So we're going to start doing that stuff so that the customers can take advantage of coming out and talking to somebody that works for that company, touch and feeling every product that they carry, maybe products that we don't have in store because, again, we can't carry everything. Because I think that's a really good resource just to gain the knowledge. You could just, if you could play with, if you could shoot, let's say, 6 different bows in a night, from one company, you could really narrow down your search results to kind of what you're looking for. Maybe you could take away some things that you had looked at online and say, yeah, you know what, these aren't good for me. Prime example, G5, the broadheads and everything else that they make, it'll be the same kind of scenario. They could come out and maybe demo some stuff and get hands-on and play instead of just looking through a clear package hanging on the shelf. Mm-hmm. Heck, if that's how we choose our products, the customers, should have a good opportunity to do that too. And that's where Customer Appreciation Day comes into play. Mm-hmm. A lot of the booths out back, you can kind of get a little more hands-on with stuff, demo some things. But yeah, just to go back and answer your question, that's the process of choosing it. I think it started for us, it started from the day we opened, and always, you constantly transition and you're staying kind of flexible, as the industry changes, as products change, you change, and you just always try to bring the best that you can for the customer.
Yeah, and that's the one big thing that I've learned from you specifically is we're not carrying a product just because they're the big name or anything else is going on. We're going through checking out these products, talking to the companies, going through seeing the whole process behind it before we handpick them to carry. You taught me this year the ordering process and how you figure out what you're going to carry for the year, and it's a long process behind the scenes that people don't see.
The crystal ball effect.
Yeah. How many of these are going to sell?
I got that crystal ball in front of me. You just kind of can see the future. Yeah, you win some, you lose some. We've definitely lost some in the past. And I'll say if there's products that we thought were going to be home runs and we bring them in and they're not, we're pretty quick to pull them off the shelves. Or if we're getting a lot of warranty issues or customer feedback's not so good, we'll quickly pull them off the shelves. A product we switched this year was those knockout knocks. We carried Nocturnal for years. We've had Luminoc and stuff in the past too. I think we even did Tracer knocks at some point, or Fire knocks or something. But this year we went to knockout lighted knocks, and we did that based upon how they function, that their on-off design, just a little more user-friendly, a little more convenient for people to shoot. And at first we had a couple things going on. We went back to the company. We squashed those issues immediately, and we're still carrying them in the store with no issues. So, for us, I can't, if you sell a guy a product at Bucks and Bows Archery and he has a bad experience, and you gave him, your advice to purchase that product, that looks that looks really bad on you in Bucks and Bows, right? And word travels fast. Yeah, you go buy a product at Dick's Sporting Goods or Field of Stream or whatever it is, Cabela's. You walk in, you buy a, whatever that product is, a bow sight, whatever, it doesn't matter, an arrow rest, and you go use it and it doesn't function the way they said it would, or you had a bad experience with it, or maybe it wasn't, you weren't told how to install it correctly or use it correctly. You're not going to go back to that store and know who did that. You're going to go back to customer service, just return it and get your money back and go through the whole process of starting over again, versus just getting the right product up front, getting the right experience and knowledge up front and information for you to be successful without having to play the game.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to play games with their equipment.
No, not at all.
I don't want my customers playing games with their equipment because that doesn't look good for us. And I sincerely want our customers to be successful with their gear during hunting season or target shooting or whatever they're doing. So, it's a little more personal. It's definitely, that's the idea. It's more personal. It's a tighter knit community shopping at small business. I wish more people would, sitting here staring at an Amazon box. I know you didn't buy any archery stuff, but,
Yeah, that's actually a full entire box of broadheads that I bought, cheaper online.
Right. Yeah.
So.
No, but yeah, I mean, Amazon and online, man, it's I don't want to say it's killing small business, because it's not. I actually read a really good article this week that there's, Small Business Bureau, whatever it is, that their recent studies have shown small businesses growing and booming, while companies like Amazon are booming. The owner of Amazon is now the richest man in the world, worth above billions and billions of dollars. Yeah. And small business, while they're booming, small business is also booming, because I think people are starting to also realize too, now that buying online's been so popular for a while now. I think people are starting to kind of gravitate back to saying, I kind of want that personal experience. I want to be able to touch and feel products before I buy them, and maybe get some expert advice on things, especially in our market. A niche archery market's a big one for people that they want that, they want that advice up front. Yeah. And hey, Amazon, what they're buying brick and mortar left and right, Whole Foods, and they have Amazon stores popping up. So if the largest online retailer in the whole freaking world, the most successful online selling database in the whole world, is building brick and mortar stores, there's obviously some importance that they're seeing for brick and mortar, and they're seeing that their customers, as convenient as it is with 2-day Amazon Prime shipping, sometimes it's best, well, not sometimes, it's definitely better to just walk into a store and leave with it that day, and leave with expert advice, instead of saying, I'll get this and I get free returns. Yeah, when are you going to play this return game? I mean, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of value to what we do, and I think the customers appreciate that, and and from a service standpoint, that's a whole nother. I mean,
I was just going to go down that avenue, that like there's the whole part of it of selling products, and the other process comes down to service, which right now, specifically with archery season in Pennsylvania, it's opened up in some areas. In the Pittsburgh area, it opened up, but coming up here, by the time this podcast airs here, the season will be open. But this is the busy time. This is the crunch time when everyone wants their strings and cables replaced, their bows tuned.
Right now.
Right now. Hey, archery season opens on Saturday.
I need my bow.
Today's Wednesday. Can you have it done for me tomorrow? I need to get sighted in.
Right. I gotta stretch my string out and get sighted in again. Yeah, no, there are unrealistic expectations. I think a lot. We may be pretty good, but we're not that good. We definitely suggest people take care of a lot of this stuff way ahead of the game before the season starts. But we're still there. We're crunching. We're getting people turned around as fast as we can. A lot of these new products too, you don't have to play around. Like, look at freaking Trophy Ridge with the React technology and their sights. You could have a guy walk in the day before hunting season. We could sight him in at 20 yards. In the spot range, go in a 3D range, sight him in at 30 yards, and that dude is dialed into 100 yards. So 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, the whole way to 100 yards, that sight's automatically going to sight in his rest of his pins just by doing 20 and 30. Mm-hmm. Now, I still suggest that you practice with that sight and get familiar with that sight prior to going out in the woods and chasing live animals, but technology like that allows people for a last minute thing, if they broke their sight or something like that, to come in and get squared away, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's what you should be seeing in 2018.
Yeah, that's the advancements that you're seeing.
But from a service standpoint, it doesn't happen that fast. But that's probably our biggest, whatever aspect of the business that we do is the service work. So working on people's bows and restringing them and tuning them and fixing problems and determining, doing warranty work and things like that. And having that local guy who does this stuff every day, knows the ins and outs, versus going back to a box store or whatever, trying to have a kid who, I'm not knocking the kid because he doesn't have the training, but having somebody with very little training, trying to work on your bow. Most guys are pretty personal with their archery equipment. I mean, it's a pretty big deal. It's your bow, and so guys take it seriously. So having the right equipment, which we stay on top of, having the right tuning equipment, the right bow presses to be able to work on anything and everything and take care of our customers, make sure that while we're working on their stuff's being, pressed correctly and used with the most advanced equipment to make sure that it's perfectly tuned or perfectly ready to go for them.
Yeah, and that's and that comes down to having the right people in place too, which we are definitely lucky enough to have people that kind of fit all avenues. So, you have people like Tony and Alan and Craig and everybody else that all have their own specific niche that they're so, good at with working on people's equipment. And when you get your bow back, you can feel confident that, this is tuned as if it was their bow.
Right.
Everything is good to go.
Yeah, a guy came in today, actually, now that you said that, his center serving was all jacked up on his bow, and he was having issues with his D-loop. So I had to strip it and redo everything. And before he left, we were talking, and he's like, by the way, he's like, hey, whatever you got to do, he's like, just fix this issue, but look over the whole bow, like pretend it's your bow and fix anything that he's fixed. And I'm like, well, yeah, man, that's how we work on every bow, like it's our own bow, and that's for us at Bucks and Bows. That's what we do. Pretty much everybody that starts there, that's one of the first things we say. Hey, when you're fletching someone's arrows, yeah, it may seem like a meaningless task to you, but that dude's spending a lot of money on those arrows he's going to be shooting, target shooting, or hunting with or whatever. They need to be perfect. So if you take an extra step to do yours, take that same extra step to do theirs. It may take a little longer, but it's going to be that much better. And they're going to return customers, and word of mouth advertising is, you could post whatever you want on Facebook and run radio ads and sponsor TV shows, whatever, but word of mouth advertising is number one for our industry.
Yeah. No, completely agree. And I can speak from the point of having Rick as the store manager and boss is
and a mentor.
Are we going to go down this? I was about to say something decently nice about you, but at the same time, still show your character.
You stopped. You said, it's a store manager and a boss, and then you started.
Well, because I was trying not to say something extremely mean. I
didn't hear you say it, like as a friend, as a neighbor, as a mentor, as leadership. I just thought maybe you could elaborate, but go ahead.
Yeah, what technically I can't get away from him because he's always, here in my life. And when I say I have to travel for work, normally it's, I'm just going down the street and staying at a buddy's house because I'm trying to, create some space. But anyways, so yeah, Rick, he lives across the street from me, and I live with Tony. So it's the whole concept here. But anyways, what I meant was Rick is extremely
family
thorough with how he wants his work done. And as an employee, if you're taking shortcuts or doing anything, he's going to let you know, and he's going to let you know usually in not mean's a bad way of putting it.
The first 2 times is normally pretty nice.
Rick, let's be honest with yourself here. Yeah, if Tony catches you, he'll be like, hey, like, this is what you got to do, and change it and help you through it. Rick doesn't let that happen, If you're messing up something with a customer's bow, He's going to let you hear it, and for very good reason. And again, I say that with complete, I guess, truthfulness here is he wants to make sure that there's not a customer's walking out of that store being like, these guys didn't take their time and go through and work on my boats like their own. And I think that management style and everything, is as tough as it can be from an employee standpoint sometimes, is what makes that ultimate pro shop experience the way that it is, and why our customers come back all the time.
You get one shot. I mean, honest to God, you get a new customer, walks through the door. He's never been there before. Maybe he heard good things, or maybe he was just driving by, whatever, heard an ad, saw something on Facebook. He's going to come in and give you a chance, right?
Yeah.
As people may often say, "Oh, I shop, small business, man, support small business." They're also way harsher on small business. They don't put up with anything when it comes to small business. So guy comes in on his first experience and maybe has, a mediocre experience, let alone a bad one. And when he leaves, he's going to be very apt to try the next shop or to go a different route. And trust me, when he's drinking freaking lattes with his buddies on Friday night, that's going to come up in conversation. So if he's talking with 4 of his buddies and says, by the way, I went down to that Bucks and Bows and I stopped in, I had some questions, they didn't really give me the time of day, or they were full of it, or they seemed to just kind of, talk about the products that, maybe the guy was wearing a Matthews hat, and he was just focusing solely on Matthews, but I wanted to talk about Bowtech. Dude, that's not going to work. You're never going to get another chance with that guy. He will not come back. And guess what? His buddies probably won't either, because it's really convenient to go to a box store that's right down the road, because they're on every corner, and just walk in to get his next pack of broadheads, or walk in to get whatever, to look for the product that he's looking for, or just to jump on frickin' Amazon or whatever it is to buy their thing. It is very obtainable to get the same stuff that we carry at other locations, at your box store experiences or online. You could do it right now. Mm-hmm. Very easy.
And have it in 2 days.
Do it on my frickin' phone.
Yeah.
And so you need to make sure that first experience and every experience after that is perfect. It has to be 10 out of 10. If it's not 10 out of 10, it doesn't fly. It's critical, because I can remember the days before I worked at the store and was in the industry, walking in the bow shops, and there was one locally, I'm not going to name names, but in college we had went to a store. And we walked in, and I don't know what we needed. I can't remember. That was a long time ago. Maybe arrows or broadheads. Just had some questions or something. And, we stood there for 10 minutes. Guys are talking to each other. The workers are talking to each other, and it's like, Kenny, hey, guys, can we had a couple questions? Yeah, hang on a second. And they went back to talking to each other. And it was like, are you kidding me? And they're not talking about something they're working on. They're talking about, Joe Blow, whatever, who broke up with who or something on the weekend. It was like, we're gone. We literally walked out of there. We went to the next store, which was, I don't know the distance there, but probably at least 20 minutes further out of our way. Got great experience. And for the next 4 years of college, we drove past the one store and went to that store we had a better experience at. Never gave the other one another chance. Mm-hmm. Just, why would you? There's risk there. You know what I mean? You're going to go in and buy a product and think maybe you get a bad experience, or maybe the first experience wasn't good. Second one's probably not going to be good either. So yeah, you get that one shot. We seriously take customer service, customer experience to a like ultra high level, and that goes back to, you'd mentioned about guys having like they're kind of like niche, what they're really good at. And so, part of my job is finding the niche that every employee has. And before they come in as an employee, there needs to be a niche there. That at least something I can see that, okay, this kid's got potential, or, this guy's got potential, or this girl, whoever's got potential in this area. Yeah, they'd be a really strong fit here. And for you, your really big potential that I saw was
the card.
I was just trying to figure, Tony, help me out. No, well, in all seriousness, your big thing is, one, you're really good at talking to people. Obviously, you got a microphone glued to the front of your face. So you have a good voice. You have a good way to talk to people. You're super freaking passionate about this stuff to like an ultra high level. I can't teach passion. I've tried to teach passion to people. You can't do it. It's impossible. If you don't have passion, it's over from the beginning. But you're super passionate about it. So, and Sitka Gear's been a big strong suit for you, where customers are able to contact us, come into the store. Hey, I'm going on a mule deer hunt. I'm going on an elk hunt. I'm going on, hell, we've set up dudes that go on goddamn $50,000 sheep hunts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Their clothing is going to dictate a successful hunt or not. Because if their clothing fails them, they're off the mountain. And you're not going to kill anything if you're off the mountain.
The mountain doesn't care, and at that point, you have to be set up with the correct clothing system and everything.
So having somebody like you in there who's dug so deep into the systems, and you've made great connections through the industry, not by being pro staff, but by being in the industry with guys like Jonathan Barklow from Sitka Gear, and a lot of the guys that you've podcasted with, and people can go back and listen to some of those podcasts. But having that connection, having that capability to reach those people, which for most people who aren't in the industry, those people are unreachable, makes you very, very important for the customer to come in and say, hey, I'm doing this hunt. I need this. I need to be set up with this, whatever it is, my bow or my gear, clothing. Set me straight now. Because when I leave and I get on that plane, I can't turn back. I can't fix it. If you're in British Columbia on the side of a cliff, you're not going to box up something that's not working and send it back to Amazon for a return. It has to function. You have to be successful with that. So, those niche skills, I think, allows us at Bucks and Bows. We've been lucky to have really good employees there that have a lot of strong attributes in different places. It allows us to provide those services at a freaking elite level for people that need that help, that need that service.
Yeah, I mean, they call them a pro shop for a reason, and you're expecting to have that, advice. And that comes down to, and from your standpoint, being the manager, being able to recognize everyone's skills and figure it out. If it comes down to a point, a customer walks in the shop, it's like, I don't know what's wrong with my bow. This is going on, blah, blah, blah. You're not like, hey, Bo, go figure this out. Because, I mean, to be honest with myself, it's pretty evident, and we all joke about it. That's not my strong point. So You might be like, Tony, can you take a look at this guy's bow and see what's going on? Or Craig, or anyone along those lines that's very good with
the guys that work on the boat.
Yeah, that work on them. But like I said, you recognize that and kind of fit people where they need to be within the store, so that one, the customer gets the ultimate experience, which is number one, and two, that everything just flows.
Yeah, and the store maintains its quality of work.
Mm-hmm.
Tony, for example, passion, going back to that. For me in the target world, I don't know. I just can't get into, it's just me, but I cannot get into like spot shooting and target bows and the whole 9 yards. It's just not something that like triggers me to get like super excited in my mind, where Tony, for example, digs that stuff. He loves figuring out, if I got a stabilizer setup, for example, let's take an ounce off the front, put a half ounce on the back. That should fix that problem. Or, let's adjust your stabilizer setup to have it, function better for you. Maybe you're going to hold steadier or whatever. Messing with releases. And I mean, hell, we've gone to the extent of shortening a guy's D loop by 1/8 of an inch just to make it that much perfect, that much more perfect for him to shoot. That's Tony. When a guy comes in, I'm not going to say, yeah, here, let me help you with that. I'm going to be like, hey, here's the deal. Actually, Tony's with a customer right now, but I'm telling you it's worth the wait, because this guy's super passionate with this stuff. Because of his passion, he's gone to extra lengths to do more research and to, watch more videos and get into more training to be able to serve that customer to a better level, So, not everybody. And I think that does happen sometimes too, where people come in, they kind of think everybody in the store is like a pro at everything. that we have in the store or every subject matter. And that's just not the case. That's impossible. It's impossible to be at that elite level on everything, it's just, you can't be that way. We're humans, so finding the right person and having the right people in the store. Yeah, man. I mean, it's super important.
Yeah. And to go even, a step further with that, to give someone like, I guess, advice, if they're trying to get into a pro shop or anything, when you do get into that type of position and kind of recognize your own strong points and everything, don't be afraid to utilize the other resources. Don't, have the ego saying like, oh, yeah, I know this or whatever. Grab someone else with it when it comes down to, say a target setup or crossbows or something that I'm not as familiar with. I'm not going to sit there and feed the guy a line of bullshit about this. I'm going to be like, Tony, hey, and help me out, brother. And
as shitty as that can be, to be talking to a customer and be like, I really don't know. I'm not that good with this stuff. Because it's hard to say, anybody, it's hard to say, I don't know. I'm clueless at this, or this isn't a strong point for me. I think over the years, I've seen multiple instances where a guy kind of dumps a customer off to another guy who's stronger in that field, and the guy will come back and be like, hey, by the way, man, I appreciate you setting me up with him. And it's always like, hey, I didn't mean to kind of like throw you away. I knew he was going to give you a better experience. I knew he was going to lead you down a straighter path. So that's why we did that, because I'm not there, and that's all right. That's why we're there.
You can take those lessons and apply them to anything.
That's why multiple guys are in the store that are strong in different points, and that's why we do what we do, and that's why we have a ton of options. And I think it just builds the customer experience, kind of overall, kind of completes that circle.
So with that being said, to switch gears a little bit here, let's kind of talk about the company culture that we have, and I'm going to talk specifically about Bucks and Bows, but we have a great group of guys there, and like I said, when you get into that type of thing, and I strongly encourage anybody that does have a local pro shop in the area to, if you're truly passionate about it and want to help out and want to be more a part of and again, saying being a part of the industry, that sounds cliche, but just being a part of hunting and everything
to the next level.
Yes, to the next level.
Past just being a bow hunter that, comes in the store once a year to get his stuff done and whatever. Yeah.
And our group of guys, like just being around that and everything is just a positive, I guess, result you get out of it. We have a lot of fun. Like, we work hard and we're serious about what we're doing, but we have a good time at the same thing.
It goes past just the employees, man. I mean, tonight we sat there and hung out with, we had a couple employees there and a couple customers there that are pretty regular guys. Jared Fullerton, his buddy, and his girlfriend Sedona and stuff. They hang out at the store a lot. And now they're on the shooting club, and we're meeting up with them on weekends for 3D shoots, and they come to a lot of our events, and it gives them that little more of an insider, kind of like they know more about what's going on in the industry with products and techniques and things like that just by hanging out more. Yeah. So like I think when you say culture, our employees, I'll brag, I'll be biased. They're the best of the best. Like, I would challenge a lot of stores to say that overall, I'm not saying other stores are bad, they don't have good guys, because everybody has a lot of really good guys, especially in our area. We're surrounded by some really kick-ass stores, but our store, from a bias standpoint, I think is just freaking the best. And I think that shows too when you have customers hanging out. They want to come down and hang out. They just want to come down and be a part of it. When you build that brand, when you build that culture, it just makes everything more fun. It makes shooting more fun. It makes going to events more fun. It's just everything's more fun. And that's what it's about. I mean, dude, we're talking about archery here, like, it's a sweet industry to be in. It's a great job to have. You're playing with bows, and so the people who come in, they invest thousands of dollars on their equipment. I kind of feel bad for the guys who don't come in shoot with us for our leagues or come to our events and hang out, because they're missing like the main part of it. Like that to me is way more fun or important than just having the bow sitting in your freaking bow case or shooting it at the house. You know what I mean? And everybody has their own buddies they're going and doing stuff with. I'm not saying if you don't hang out at the bow shop that you're nobody or that you're not having fun. There's a lot of people that do their own thing that really enjoy it and they're at a pretty elite level with it. But it's a good resource, past products and getting your bow work done, to just be a part of archery. And we all have something in common. When you're at the store, everybody there, other than someone's wife or something that's just hanging out, but everybody there has something in common. We're all bow hunters, and so that's a really cool part of it, and we've made a lot of really good friends that are just customers, that started as just customers, that are not really just awesome buddies of ours, that we hang out with on the weekends. And like I said, do a lot of fun things, go to shoots and hunts and things. I've gone on, whitetail hunts in Illinois with customers that literally just walked in the stores as a customer one day, and next thing you know, a year later, we're in Illinois whitetail hunting together. That's cool. That's a lot of fun. Yeah. We're doing it this year. Every year I go to Illinois, there's shop customers there. I got a group of guys going out this year that I've never hung out with, and I can't wait to go out there and hang out with guys that are just customers of mine. But we're going to be whitetail hunting together. It's not about buying stuff. It's not about whatever. It's just having fun bow hunting together.
Yeah, and kind of get to know them on a little more of a personal basis, and like I said, from an employee standpoint, getting to be around that all the time, and the culture and everybody else is just it's a great experience. That it's hard to put into words, but it truly, everybody just connects together. And again, like, we all hang out as friends. So like, your big thing has always been, you're like, I'm your boss at work there, but I'm your friend first and foremost. And like, we have business, and when I need to be yelled at for some reason or another, you do that. But we also hang out outside of work, and all of us do that.
Yeah, you walk out the door, it's a totally, that turns off. You flick a different switch. But
and honestly, I mean, I think you're a little bit, you definitely take that to an extreme from that standpoint. I mean, I wouldn't call it two-faced, but hey, let's call a spade here.
You got to flick the switch, man.
I'm just kidding.
You got to flick the switch.
No, it's Tony, an awesome experience.
Since we're just hanging out, we're not talking about work. Bow's fired. How many arrows is Bo gonna fletch tomorrow night now? Right. No, yeah. I mean, I think the whole experience is great, man, and the culture's awesome. And I've learned a lot and met a lot of really cool people being there over the years. And the customer base is great. And like I said, making new friends in the whole 9 yards. I got one of my, I consider one of my best friends now, who I was just hanging out with last night. You know what I mean? That was literally a shop customer. And by the way, a shop customer who did not have a good experience at a different store found us, tried us. And not only is he a dedicated store customer, but also now a really good friend. I mean, hell, he was at my wedding, a couple months ago. So like, that to me, man, that's the whole picture. Like, that's what this is about. That's what your pro shop experience should be about. And the market's changed and people's changed and fads change and everything else. But I think the pro shop mentality for most people is coming back. I think people are starting to kind of appreciate that. Our prices are competitive with everybody else, brick and mortar wise, online, a little different, to compete with somebody who doesn't have overhead or employees to pay and insurance and the whole 9 yards, water bills and the whole, all that. But we stay pretty competitive. Sometimes I feel, and I'll do this outside of the archery industry, for me, I'd rather go to a specialist or whatever, if I'm going to go get a golf clubs or something like that, and talk to somebody who knows what they're doing and give them the business. It may cost you $3 more, it may cost you $10 more, whatever, but you're going to get that level of experience out of it. And again, if you stick around and you're active in it and you take advantage of it, you're probably going to get more than just that, you're probably going to, pull some friendships out of the deal. Like our leagues, for example, coming up, a couple of things we have coming up now. We're coming out of selling season, as far as pre-archery season. Bow season starts for the whole state this Saturday. We're going to kind of start tapering off of people buying new bows and arrows and all that kind of stuff. And we get into what I think is the best part for us, our most fun part of the year, which is leagues are going to start here January. Before that, we have our Halloween shoot that we just put into play for October 24th. There's going to be a bunch of events coming up, and those are the things that when we put the ranges in, I think that was kind of the whole idea was, put ranges in. It wasn't really about, we didn't think obviously that you're going to make millions of dollars on a 3D range, but we could provide a place to do leagues, we have tournaments coming up, we'll have money shoots coming up, spot leagues in our spot range, we'll have spot leagues, money shoots in there. What else is going on? We have some other, Craig will probably do a spot tournament in there too, couple day tournament, so to me, that's the fun. Take your equipment that you've bought, take the equipment that we worked hard to set up for you to make it perfect. Now come in and use it outside of the woods, come in and use it where you're hanging out with people and making friends, telling hunting stories. Yeah. A bunch of bullshit hunting stories, but a lot of those happen when you go to the bar afterwards. You end up at Permanis, whatever, drinking some beers, and all that.
If you're ever in the Pittsburgh area, if you don't have the Permanis experience, I don't know what to tell you. That's, if you want like a heart attack and a meal, come to Permanis and enjoy some good beer with that as well. Or fries and coleslaw on top of all your sandwiches, boys.
Or after league night, it's like $5 appetizers or $2 appetizers or something. It's crazy. Yeah. But that to me is the best part. That's where we have the most fun. That's where I get to meet our customers on a non-shop level, more at that friend level. And get to hear stories and you make friends and everything else, man. It's that to me, that's the best. We're getting into the most fun part of being a part of a pro shop. This is the season that you want to be a part of it.
Yep. And like you said, you're just coming off the hunting season and everyone's getting excited about telling their stories and everything else. It's just an overall great thing. And whether, I don't know if wives get extremely as excited about that time.
We don't really tend to talk about the wives that our shooters have.
Or in some case, we have women that
we do. There's a lot of women shooters. Yeah, absolutely. And we're actually talking about that last night at the meeting we had. We're looking for more. So if anybody's listening whose wives shoot or want to shoot, because our leagues and stuff like that, dude, it's not like pro shooters. Nobody shows up wearing a freaking shooter jersey or whatever. Yeah, there's some really good guys shooting, some, quality shooters there, but tons of beginners too. And that's what we're looking for. So, and I think that happens a lot with women. We have a lot of girls that come in and shoot by themselves. Maybe they don't have a boyfriend or a wife or a husband or whatever.
Hey, you never know.
Well, they could, but they don't have that, or their boyfriend doesn't hunt, so they should both start seeing other men. But yeah, I think the idea there is to get more girls involved, whether they have a significant other that's involved or not. And it's hard to break that ice, because I think a lot of girls that come into the store, associate our sport and what we do with it. It's a guy thing, but it's not anymore. And our industry's allowed that not to be that way anymore, because they're making women-specific bows, women-specific arrows, women-specific broadheads, and all that kind of stuff. So if anyone's listening, we're definitely looking for more girls to shoot. We have girls already that shoot. We want to start more women's leagues and things like that. But yeah, when you get into this season, this is when guys start you get that like hangout time, that post hunting season time to chill, time to hang out, time to relax, shoot your bow, have fun. And hey, the best part about it, when you come out of this, because this, a lot of our leagues and stuff, they're 12 weeks. We end in March, mid-March, end of March. It's always end of March. So, at some point right before turkey season, we always struggle to find a date to do a league party. But you're coming into turkey season, into spring, been shooting your bow all winter long, where everybody else who wasn't doing that is now pulling their bow out if they're pulling their bow out that early, wiping the dust off it, going, oh, I got to learn, I got to shoot again, I got to get good again. You're coming out of that slow season that where most people would consider their slow shooting season, shooting really well, and probably learned a bunch. Guys like Mike Haller and stuff that shoot with us, Joe Tambellini and these guys, they're pretty advanced, and they're super eager, not even willing, but they're eager to help people get better, to become a better shot, to become a better archer. We have a lot of guys. I had Chooch, for example, who just killed his first whitetail. Congratulations. Shout out to Charlie. Killed his first deer ever and did it with a bow just last week. Hell, he bought a bow right before league started with Matt, and those guys came in and shot in our leagues, and by the time leagues were done, their scores not only drastically increased, but they were outscoring the guys that have been shooting their whole lives. You know what I mean?
I remember the last week Chooch outshot me. Yeah, that's for sure. Like, he did awesome.
Because they're working at it, man. You're coming in, you're shooting. It's not that hard to outshoot you.
Yeah, here we go. I knew that was starting.
Right. But yeah, I mean that to me, aside from making friends and having fun and all that stuff, you're becoming a better archer. You're shooting in a controlled environment. You're with people that are willing to help you and give you advice. That's always a good sound. Yeah. Empty beer cans hitting each other. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, there's a lot of cool things, and I think that from a pro shop, you know that's what you can't get from box stores. You're not going to shoot leagues on Amazon. You know what I mean? Like, that's impossible. So Cabela's doesn't have leagues. Field & Stream doesn't have leagues. They don't have that touch. And so I think that's our strongest thing we provide, is that experience for leagues and shoots and all that kind of fun stuff. Whether you're good, whether you're a beginner, whether you consider yourself an expert, it doesn't matter. Come in, shoot, have fun, learn something, meet new people, and just enjoy it. Enjoy your bow. Enjoy it. Archery's way more than sitting in a freaking deer stand, looking at squirrels that you think are deer. You know what I mean? It's to me, it's way more. It can be way more than that if you choose. That way.
Yeah, I definitely agree. With that being said, Rick, where so kind of give a little bit about where Bucks and Bows is located. Anybody in the Pittsburgh area that would love to stop in and talk to us and talk to you guys and go through it. Kind of give a little bit of where we can find the shop at.
Yeah, absolutely. So for one, we have a website, www.bucksandbows.com. There's some things that we still have to update a bunch of stuff on there, but a lot of our information is on there. If you want pictures, if you want to see, like, we're talking about this stuff right now, but if you want to see it, jump online right now while you're listening. There's pictures of our 3D range. There's pictures of the Halloween shoot. There's pictures of Customer Appreciation Day. There's pictures of the pictures of the tournament. There's pictures of our shop. Pictures of our spot range. I mean, everything's on there. So if you want to see the store, you could go there and check that out. A lot of our information on most of the products, not most, but most of the big product lines that we carry. That information is there too. Facebook, obviously. I mean, social media anymore. I mean, that's really big.
Yeah, Bucks and Bows Archery on Facebook's the best place to find.
Yeah, if you want to know what's going on, what events are coming up, when things are starting, what new products are in the store, all that kind of stuff, hit Facebook. Bo, you've been doing a really good job with our Instagram page, and also share your stories. I mean, get on Facebook. A lot of customers are on there, messaging us, or sharing pictures or sharing success stories or whatever it is with products that they're using. So, definitely be interactive. It's supposed to be an interactive platform that we can kind of use to talk to customers too. So use that. Facebook, Instagram, our website. Yeah, we're in Gibsonia on Route 8. So where the Turnpike crosses over Route 8 and where 910 crosses over Route 8, we're pretty much right in between those two. So across the street from Walmart. I mean, Walmart's the big one. Everybody, big store there. Everybody knows. So we're there. If you need to call us or whatever, phone number is 724-443-5166. Our contact information is on the website. But yeah, I urge people, we're always looking for people to engage in our events, to swing down. If you have questions, feel free. I mean, don't don't feel like there's no stupid question, I guess, right? So if you feel like you have a stupid question, that doesn't exist. We're here to help people. We're here to, transfer that knowledge and experience to them. So if you're having issues with your equipment or have, questions about products or whatever it is, call us, swing in, whatever.
Awesome. All right, Rick. Well, thank you here. And so anybody else wants to check out Bucks and Bows, like you said, check it out on Facebook, Instagram, the website, anything else. And just make sure wherever you're at, even if you're not in the Pittsburgh area, support your local pro shop. And if you are in the Pittsburgh area, be sure to stop in Bucks and Bows, and hopefully you'll get the same experience that you got out of this podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Bo. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of East Meets West Hunt with your host, Bo Martonic. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit eastmeetswesthunt.com, Facebook at East Meets West Outdoors, and Instagram at East Meets West Hunt. If you enjoyed today's episode, please review and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.